Enough Watford programmes for you? Hello, and in today's video we're doing a bit of a hybrid video. We're combining a few things that I wanted to get done in one video. So go on and smash a like on it, subscribe of course for more content on the Roberto the Hornet channel. If you haven't already, go follow me on the great FPL Yellow Army channel. It's up and running, and of course very soon on FPL Juice YouTube you will be able to catch my third video, and that will be set pieces, so a really good one. Make sure you give it a like and give it a watch and share with your friends. But today on the Roberto the Hornet channel we're doing a range of things. So first of all, people, I wanted to show you my Watford collection. Being a Watford fan for 9 years, I've piled up a lot of programmes, and it's always nice to just, show off my programme collection. So I thought I would do it here. We've got some iconic programmes. A lot of them the Championship from obviously last season. We got Watford against Derby, Will Hughes, former team of course. Can I just say, on behalf of Watford, the programmes last season were absolutely class. Like, some of the pictures were just so classy. Like the designs, the glossy cover of them, I absolutely loved them. You've got the first game back was Cardiff, obviously, but then the second game after that was Brentford. I think it was the second game. There was a Rotherham game as well. So that was just 3 home games with fans last season, and lucky me, I was able to go to that Rotherham game. But this is the Brentford one, which is really nice touch, really. We've missed you, and a nice little compilation there of some of the fans. We've got Watford against QPR, Dan Backman, what a legend of a goalkeeper he is, and just really nice how they kind of, on the front cover of them, just show the player and then talk about the involvement of that player and all their background, and you got the Austrian mountains in the background there. So yeah, really cool one there. And we've got a few here. This was the one actually that was the first home game back for the season with fans. Love that. Come on, you Horns. Welcome back. And unfortunately, we couldn't get the result in that Cardiff game. But yeah, really nice programme again. And this was, really good once again from the club. We also had a really nice one for the final day of the season. Of course, when we got promoted against Millwall, we had 2 games to spare. But we did it, and we ended on a bang, really, with that Swansea win. And it was a really nice, day all in general for the Millwall game, and the promotion celebrations were fantastic. And this was just a really cool, front cover for it, for the Swansea game. Shishko getting launched up in the air, you love to see that. And of course, across the last season in the Championship, I was lucky enough to have the honour of having my own section in the programme. The matchday programme, doing the Roberto the Report section. So that was really fun, doing a little summary of the matches and basically giving my views on best players and debrief of the game, the main chances, and then of course predicting the next game that would be played at Vicarage Road. I think we went for a 2-1 against Swansea, so not quite, but nearly there. But some really nice eye-catching ones. This one I really did like, Nathaniel Chalobah, all the different Panini cards through the years. As a Watford player, of course, he's been with us for a while. If you think back to 2012 to 13, Nathaniel Chalobah, and he really came into his own last season. Got the responsibility of the captain's armband and had a really good season. So that was a really fun one. You've of course got Troy Deeney leading the line, or at least we thought that would be the case, but then he got injured, and that's when we changed to our 4-3-3 formation. So it was a bit of an unlucky curse, really, for Deeney in that Bristol City game. But yeah, that was a really cool one. All the different Watford shirts for Troy Deeney, him leading the line. He's the absolute talisman of this club. And despite injuries, despite him getting on, he's still got something left in the tank. And it's amazing how many signings we now have for the new season. We've got 10 forwards, basically. So Deeney will still play a part. Of course, he, just really does rustle up that dressing room. He's amazing at pens, and I'm got to say it, but England, who we'll go on to talk to in this video, reviewing that Italy final, they needed some strong penalties from the likes of this man, Troy Deeney, because he never misses and he just always slams it down the middle. It just never can be saved. Even if the goalie gets there, he's breaking his wrist to try and save that. It's always absolutely walloped home. So, yeah, club leader, legend, absolute legend of a captain, and obviously didn't have the best of seasons last time, but, that was very unfortunate on his part due to injury. But he certainly was really, influential, going all the games, the away game against Middlesbrough, travelling up and really getting behind the lads in our promotion bid. This was a nice one. You can't see it, but I will describe it to you. Norwich at home, the Christmas edition with a nice Watford-themed Christmas tree with all the baubles and the Watford stockings hanging up. Very, very nice indeed. And of course, we've got some really, really nice ones. This was Nottingham Forest at home. And it's basically got like the backdrop of Brazil, all the slums and the football fever that comes with Brazil. Just showing where Pedro came from. He's got the young version of himself in a Brazil shirt, but then you've also got the mature and experienced and thriving talent that he's become over the last season. It is a really, really cool backdrop basically, and he's been a really great player who's just developed last season. And of course, Dan the man, Dan Gosling, had a nice little feature on the Wycombe Wanderers home programme. We've also got a few from Adam Messina. Over the Easter break, of course, La Roca, which is, of course, Carlos Sanchez. Unfortunately, he did leave the club. He was just released, not ready for the Premier League. But, yeah, he really did give us that solidity we needed. And now we're, winding back the years, really. We've got Etienne Capoue. And back in the day, there weren't these extravagant, programme covers, which we were happy enough with. The Hornet programmes were always just one player on the front. And, it was a very standard, but very, happy with that. Of course, like one for Millwall was a very good one. And very appropriate because, of course, he got the goal to get us promoted. And Sarr, man, he is our Sarr player, rising Sarr. He can really, reach out and touch the stars. He's that good of a player. It really was a great campaign for him. And also, you've got to, give it to the Watford producing company for some of their programmes over the course of the 18-19 season. You've got nice little graphics in the middle and bars of yellow and orange and black, and then you've got half the face, half the player. Really, really nice effects there. And of course, let's not forget some of the legendary programmes. I hope we can get the visuals back soon, people, so I can show you it. But it's a little bit struggling at the minute. I'll save the FA Cup final one to last. And just some of the scenes that have been, across Watford's campaigns. They're just great for pictures, basically. They speak 1,000 words. And I remember the West Brom one at home. That first season we got promoted in 15-16. Absolute scenes at Merseyside. And Sebastian Prödl just jumping on top of everyone. Absolute bundle when, Miguel Layún scored that opening goal. So, yeah, there's been some great, great moments. Of course, the Championship, programme from 2014-15 promotion chasing season was fantastic. It was a bit unfortunate to us not get the title, but promotion was the most important thing, and it was really nice touch. Hashtag Nick for promotion. It was a horrible piece of abuse he suffered, and it felt like it was Watford really just playing for more than football in that season and really playing for him. It was a really horrible incident with the Wolves fans. So yeah, it was an amazing season, the 14-15 season, and we kind of got those kind of vibes last season also. And yeah, just some really, really nice, memorable ones. I've got so many here. It is absolutely ridiculous how many, but that's why I love to collect them, because it's just great to look back on the memories and see how far this club has come since 2014, of course. 2014-15 season when we did, of course, get promoted. It's just been a great journey for Watford. Semi-final in the FA Cup, final in the FA Cup. Obviously, last season was a massive, massive result to get back in the Prem, and we established ourselves for 5 years. So some really nice programs there. We're going to move on though, and hopefully we'll get the visuals back in a little bit. So that was really fun. And now what we're going to do is a range of things, basically. We're going to first of all review England 1, Italy 1, with that ending, of course, on penalties 4-2. And it was unfortunate, really. I think that's the word. It was tense. It was hard to watch. It was very England, basically. I'll get into why that is now. So, game starts off. So much optimism, of course, but also a lot of fear because we know we're going into this final facing, probably the best team in the tournament. Let's not beat around the bush. Italy have been absolutely outstanding. Federico Chiesa and, many, many more have been so strong. And their defence has been absolutely ridiculous. So finding a way past that was going to prove to be a real tough test. But we actually started with, the dream start. We started on the front foot, going at Italy, which is exactly what you want to do in a final of this magnitude. And it's absolutely fantastic breakaway play from England. Win the ball back, and then Harry Kane just sets it perfectly. Doesn't overcomplicate it, but he just sprays the pass out wide. It comes to Kieran Trippier, and from one fullback to the other, from right to left, it's a fantastic clipped cross. And on just 2 minutes in, there is, at the back post, the left back of the tournament, in my opinion, Luke Shaw, steaming in with a fantastic controlled volley into the ground, a little nick off the post, and no chance for Donnarumma in goal. So it was a fantastic goal. England fans were getting overexcited. I certainly think that. People setting off fireworks. You don't want to see that. 2 minutes into a final, we're back. 2 minutes into a final, you can't be doing that because you got to stay grounded, and it was never over. And also, with fans as well, I'm going to touch on fans a bit later, but you just can't count your chickens before they've hatched, and there feels right now like a lot of England fans are just starting to, retreat a little bit because their actions, in Leicester Square, in Wembley Way, they just were not good enough. It was just a real embarrassing thing to see that. And I think that, England gave it their all, but the fans have to just think that that's not the way to behave. And, the government, just the bigger organisations, they have to get involved with that. So it was a disappointing thing to see that, really. The booing of the national anthems in previous games, it's not classy. It's really pathetic and really childish. So yeah, it was not good at all. But in terms of the football, England started really well. I'd say even the first 25 minutes, England really looking like the better team, looking more confident, really just starting to work the lines, just run the channels and really put Italy under a bit of pressure. But then it was this little reversal, and Italy, before half-time, getting back into the game, there was that little chance for Chiesa where he just got too much space, and you can't let Italy players drive into space. You got to mark your man. It's as simple as that. And Italy have so many players that can just drop off and really just tackle the player and tackle, the ball off a team, but then also on the break, really quickly break with it. And that was the issue for England. First half, well, especially the Denmark game, I thought, in extra time, England did so well to carry the ball and keep the ball. And when they used it effectively. But I hate to say it, in the second half for England, it fell apart because they just struggled to keep the ball. And we needed ball carriers in that team. Jack Grealish, he should have been brought on, I thought, for half-time for Mason Mount, who was having a poor game. We need that ball carrier to get us further up the pitch and just stop the pressure from Italy because they were dictating that midfield. Jorginho and Verratti just having a bit of a, fun time of it. And to be fair, to start off the game, you've got Calvin Phillips pushing up a bit further and Harry Kane dropping a bit deeper to really just nullify the threat of Jorginho to win back that possession and make those interceptions. But then it just kind of reverted in the second half. Italy just went into the game. They really just made those substitutions to change the game. Berardi coming on in the halftime break, and Belotti also coming on for, I think it was one of the midfielders, but also they made a slightly interesting switch, taking off Immobile, who really wasn't affecting the game. So it was just, Italy were very productive in their substitutions. They weren't, very hesitant to change something up if it wasn't working. And I know you can say Italy were, of course, going behind. They had to chase the game. But I feel like England didn't respond quick enough to those Italy subs, but also when it was starting to lose its way in that end of the first half, start of the second. And you've got to say Italy were just a better team in the second half. They were dominant. They were really just coming wave after wave with pressure. And England couldn't get out of their own half. And it was just a really disappointing thing to see. Obviously, you set up in a 5 at the back final and you kind of hope they adjust it in game. And Southgate, he's a very impressive and very, compassionate human being, and he is the man to take England forward. There's no doubting it, in my opinion. The way he treats the players, the way he has a connection with the fans, and the way he has the composure to change what he needs pre-match. It's just now making the substitutions during the match, I think, is where he obviously needs to blot out the noise from the fans, because he does that so well. But also, he needs to be more reactive in game, I think, because maybe make those subs a bit earlier, bring on Grealish, bring on Sancho, give us a bit of pace up against Italy, because you've got to say, Chiellini and Bonucci, all right, they've had amazing tournaments. They could be considered for, one of the centre-backs of the tournament, but they're 34 and 36. You've got to get at them, cause them a few problems, because, Italy were, at times in that second half, they were playing into Chiellini and Bonucci, and they were passing it into them in England's half. So if they're getting that far forward up, they're never going to cause Italy any problems, England. So it was a frustrating game the way it panned out, and it was frustrating after the quality of that goal for England to obviously not go for it, because, Italy, you've got to be cautious to an extent, but you've also got to adapt your game plan. And Jordan Henderson's substitutions, it really did just confuse me, because you bring on Jordan Henderson, a man who's, all right, not had the fitness this tournament, but he's got the experience. And if it goes to penalties, he's got the penalty taking. I know that he missed it against Romania, but he still has got the, experience, the just level-headed nature to his game to kind of let the rest of the penalty takers know this is it. Just do your best and take those wise words from Gareth and really just don't let the occasion overtake you. And I have to feel so bad for Bukayo Saka, because at the end of the day, it was our biggest penalty for 55 years. And the fifth penalty taker should not go onto a 19-year-old who is the youngest player in the squad. All right, Saka apparently said he wanted to take it, but then Southgate has gone and said, I take full responsibility for who took it in which order. But you've got to say, someone maybe Sterling, someone maybe like Henderson, or even Luke Shaw, John Stones, the experienced heads of this team, do they not step in and say, I respect your bravery, Bukayo, and I want you to take it, but this is our last penalty, this will be crucial. Can I maybe take it because, I've been here before, I've taken it in World Cups and Euros before. This is a new experience for someone like Bukayo Saka that he will learn, obviously, through that miss, but he has to kind of be edged in closely and gradually. I think that's got to be said. So, first half was a bit of a, tight game, a bit of a nervous game, but performance-wise, England deserved their first half lead. It was just that second half where Italy started to just get into the swing of things, and there just wasn't that attacking impetus from England. The amount of times Harry Kane touched the ball in England's box was crazy. When I say England's box, I mean Italy's box. But in terms of the final third, they're not getting him involved enough in this game. Sterling, at least he was being positive, but the amount of times it was frustrating where he was driving at the players, all right, take them on, good, but he was just not finding that pass, and he was, going forward, but not actually looking at the options around him. It's all very well, dribbling at defenders, but if you can't, beat them for pace or get around them, and not going to make the pass, then you're just going to lose the ball. You're going to just collide into the defenders. They'll take the ball off you and lose possession, and then Italy are on the break again. So it was a balance of, getting the right pass. I thought man of the match in a difficult game for England was probably Declan Rice. He barely put a foot wrong. He was so good with his strides at times, really getting into space. But then, of course, he got taken off. And I don't agree with that. I think Calvin Phillips, second half, you could especially see that he was starting to lose steam. He was starting to, lose his conviction on the game. But of course, Italy get their goal, and it's very much inevitable. It was coming. Italy were just wave after wave coming at England, and they just couldn't find a way to kind of stop that pressure. So the goal is scored by Bonucci, and it's an unlikely score, of course, after another defender, Luke Shaw, got the opener. But if you look at that goal, all right, it's a good ball in, it's a good header from Verratti, but the defenders need to react quicker. Maybe, I don't know. It's always difficult when there's a close, tap in, because how quick can you be in that situation? But there's no denying it's a fantastic save from Jordan Pickford. He gets down so well to tip it onto the post. But I don't know. Harry Kane is on the goal line. He's trying to react. There's just not enough players marking, and you can leave a defender free, but do it at your peril. You might say, why bother? Because they're not going to have the goal threat. But as we saw, anyone can score, anyone can pop up. And Bonucci just, slid it home and really did, change the game from there. His celebration, fair play. He was loving it, jumping onto the advertising hoardings, showing his guns, and really showing that passion. And fair play to Bonucci. He's no, young player. He's still going, but it was a record appearance for him at the Euros, 19th, I think it was, overtaking Buffon. So it was unbelievable, really. But yeah, England just at times got the decisions wrong. The Jorginho challenge on Grealish, I'm not having that as anything other than a red card. It was cynical and it was high. And the Chiellini challenge on Saka, pulling the shirt, that's malicious. But unfortunately, by the nature of the game, it's not going to be given as a red card. So it was there for the taking. It was England's best chance of it coming home. It does hurt, but you've got to be proud of getting this far. There's no excuse for the discrimination faced by Saka, Sancho and Rashford. These players have made the country proud. They've given something to get behind, and they've got to a first final since 1966. So these players need to stand up, be proud, be counted, and celebrate the colour of our players' skin, celebrate the achievements that they've done so far. And the penalty shootouts, obviously that was wrong. But even with that Pickford save to deny Jorginho, you just can't put that amount of pressure on Bukayo Saka. The penalty from Rashford, I admit, was poor, but they've just got to choose penalty takers better. Obviously, it was so close to coming home, but I think Italy played better on the night. So that is my review done. I was going to do a bit of Euro fantasy, but I don't really have the time. So just to end off, I finished on a final overall rank of 274,833. If you didn't already check it, Roberto_the_pro. I've done a review of my Euro fantasy team there. But thanks for watching this kind of mixed and varied video. Soon, hopefully, I'll be able to get out my team of the tournament for the Euros. But thanks for watching. See you later.